So how is it going, everyone? Welcome to Invictus. We're here for round 6 of the Monaco Grand Prix. My name is Jakob, doing the comms for you guys as always on the PC side for Invictus. Without further ado, what I'm going to do for you guys now is just to show you what the standings are looking like currently in Invictus. They should be popping up on your screen right about now. So as you can see from last week, Skyzy ended up taking a win. It was quite a dominant win over Scope last time out. It was about 12-second win up ahead of his teammate. I think just getting the right strategy down. Podium Cheetah took his second podium position of the season. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so he managed to take third position last season. Matty keeping up a dominant performance, also picking up the fastest lap last week as well. So he does remain P4 in the standings, just up ahead of Podium Cheetah. Sorry, P3 in the standings, up ahead of Podium Cheetah. Dre Geo is now in P5 in the championship. Rashid is starting to close up a little bit behind the AlphaTauri, who's sitting in P6. You still got the two Red Bulls very close together. I think Rashid has actually overtaken Jos in the standings from last week. So Rashid now on 21 points, Jos is on 20, but very close between the pair of them. The other Red Bull of MJ Coupe sitting in P8, tied at the moment with Typhoon in the Alfa Romeo in P9. In P10, you can see is Farnham. He has gotten just 3 points as a result, and then got a podium in Austria, and unfortunately hasn't managed to finish in the points ever since then. Jamie Ryan, who has now left the league, he is in P11, still on 10 points. Biofreak in 12th with 9 points, unfortunately getting disqualified. I think it was towards the end of the session last week. Fashion in 13th with 5 points. Gaudio in 14th with 3 points. Mags in 15th with 3 points. Crayon in 16th with just a 1 point, and same with Ruben, of course, joining us last week. He managed to pick up the final points position. In 18th is Plowup, or Mr. Stim, who didn't actually start last week. Hopefully, I can't see him in this evening, so it doesn't look as if he'll still end up picking up any sort of points, so he'll remain out of the points for now. Of course, Hardcore as well, unfortunately leaving the league after Austria. Bolland in 20th, who hasn't started these last 3 races. Just checking, because I don't think I can see him in the session tonight, unfortunately. So once again, unfortunately missing out. Lacarate, who did join last week as well. Unfortunate DNF for him. I think he was running pretty high up previously, and then unfortunately I think he actually put it in the wall. I believe it was at turn 3, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely mistaken, but it was very unfortunate for him, and yeah, he didn't manage to pick up any sort of points on his debut, but hopefully around the Monaco circuit he is looking to pick himself up some sort of points. Into the constructors, we have got Scope and Skyzy still on top by almost 100 points ahead of the AlphaTauris, and I think I said last week they could literally be taking the constructors at Canada or even Belgium, which is just absolutely insane to see if they haven't taken it already. But yeah, as I said, Dragio and Biofreak, the ones sitting in P2 at the moment on 36 points. However, Matty and Mags are starting to close in upon them. It's literally 2 points separating the top 3, of course, other than Scopefielder and Skyzy. So for second place between the AlphaTauris, the Haas, and the Red Bull, of course, it's going to be very tight to see who's going to be where. The Ferraris are sitting in P5 on 32 points, so literally 4 points between those guys as well. Typhoon and Farnham, a decent points position last weekend, of course, other than the 2 Renaults. They are moving their way up, and same with the Mercedes as well. Podium Cheetah and Crayon, of course, Podium Cheetah picking up the podium last weekend. He is trying to do as much as he possibly can for the Mercedes guys. Of course, both Mercedes are in this evening as well, so it's good to see. So hopefully that maybe they could try and push their way into second in the standings, depending on how the race does go. In 8th, you have got the 2 McLarens of Gaudio and Fashion. Of course, both of them also being here tonight, so again, very good to see. In the Williams, you have got Bolland and Lacarate, and of course, Lacarate is here tonight. Unfortunately, Bolland isn't, but they've only just got the 1 point at the moment. And then the Racing Point still only just missed a stim in that Racing Point in P10. Unfortunately, still yet to pick up any sort of points, and hopefully he'll be able to get a teammate soon that can pick him up some points. But now, on to the actual qualifying session. I think that's what the majority of you guys have come here for, so we will hop on board with that now once it decides it wants to, come on in to the stream on my end. Let's have a look, see if it does come up. There we go. Right, just turn the sound on so you guys can actually hear that. There we go. So, at the moment you can see, I believe that is, I think that's Matty, isn't that? No, it's not Matty, sorry. I can't remember who it was that I just said it was. It is Mags, sorry. I don't know why, it's just got a load of boxes at the moment, but Mags is the one that has put it on par at the moment with a 10.5. Saying that, both the runners come across the line and they just absolutely shut me up. They're both gone and done at 10.0, although the Swedish, not Swiss, my apologies, Scope, because he probably would have taken offence to that. The Swedish of Scopefielder does take the advantage over his French teammate of Skyzy. At the moment, there's a few other guys that are currently on laps. Lacquerate, I've just seen he has unfortunately lagged out of the session. Monaco, definitely one of the toughest tracks, but I think one of the longest standing tracks on the F1 calendar. As well, if I'm not mistaken, of course, I think Silverstone is also one of the other ones as well. That's one of the longest standing on the calendar for Formula 1 as well, along with Monza. But I was just about to go on board with MJ Coupe. I didn't realise he actually just finished his lap. So let's have a look. Let's go on board with Podium Cheetah. I'm going to let you ride on board with the nice black Mercedes livery, and I will back with you in a minute. But here is Podium Cheetah taking you around a lap for Monaco. And there you have it, Podium Cheetah chucks it into P3. Podium Cheetah once again on the podium, sitting in P3 with a 10.2 good lap time from the Brit. I will just quickly get a few of the what the guys' tyres are on. Of course, everyone is opting to go on a soft compound of tyres. I don't know if it's going to be any sort of wet start or anything like that. I haven't been told. So for now, I'm just going to assume it's dry, because I know around here for Monaco you can just quite easily do a softer medium or a softer hard. So we'll see who ends up going for what sort of strategy. If you guys outside of the top 10 will probably go on a bit of a reverse strategy, but I know around at Monaco you want to be on pole position because of how difficult it is to overtake at this track. And I can tell you that from experience. But at the moment, on board with Ruben, of course, unfortunate start to his debut last week. I think ended up in the wall at some point. I'm not too sure. It was like down one of the back straights, I believe it was. So hopefully he's looking for a bit of redemption at the moment in this race around Monaco. At the moment, he's still carrying on. He has not invalidated his lap at the moment, but let's see what his Sector 2 is looking like when he comes up to the swimming pool section. But just going around, I still cannot remember that corner name of that chicane. It will probably pop into my mind ever so slightly soon. But 52.8 so far in Sector 2, looking like a very quick lap, although has a massive oversteer moment coming out of the swimming pool section now around what I believe is Rascasa. Now coming around the final corner does the Spaniard of Ruben and making his way up towards the line. Where is he going to put it? It's into P7 just behind his teammate, where his teammate is sitting at P6 and is actually just about to start a lap. He will be the next one across the line, I believe, to actually do a lap. In fact, I am definitely lying. It's going to be Fashion to come across the line first. No, it won't. It'll be Crayon. It'll be Crayon. It will be Crayon. He has run out of ERS and he's got a bit of front wing damage on both left and the right hand side. He's still going to carry it on as it is anyway. I think it will be in last position at the moment, but it's a lap nonetheless for the man in the Mercedes who was in the Williams, then get promoted into the Mercedes, kind of like what I think everybody is also hoping for George Russell to happen. But Fashion, he's invalidated his lap, so he is not going to be carried on with a lap. Rashid, however, he is still going on a lap, so we'll stick on board with a break round here now as he's making his way through the tunnel section of the track and now coming up to the chicane. Bit of a lock-up going through it, however, but gets it stopped nicely, gets going on the power very nicely as well. This is looking like a very quick lap, actually. He is 3 tenths up on his lap as well. This is going to put him around sort of where Mags and Matty are. challenging those two Haas boys, and that's who they are fighting for in the constructors at the moment. So let's have a look. Is Rashid going to maybe try and chuck it in between whether the Haas's or even up ahead of him, and maybe, just maybe, up ahead of Podium Cheater as he makes his way up to the line? He splits the two Haas boys. Very valiant effort. Let's just see, who else have we got on laps? In fact, it's one of the Renaults that was on the lap first. It's going to be Scope. Never mind, he's going in at the pits. So Skyzy, the Frenchman, trying to best his teammate once again. Of course, these two are in a bit of a championship fight, the two QVR boys in the Renaults. Let's see how they do as Skyzy's making his way up towards the line. Is he going to be the first one in the nines? He is. By half a second from his teammate. Very good lap from Skyzy, putting it on pole at the moment on a 109.4. Of course, Scope, he had a bit of wing damage on his lap, so he didn't manage to continue with that lap. Podium Cheater, he is just currently starting a lap as Gaudio is into P9. Fashion into, well, I was going to say 10th, but Farnham has just taken that from him. Fashion now down into P11. MJ Coupe is just making his way around the final corner. I think he's just about to start a lap because he invalidated on his first lap. So Podium Cheater is going to be the next one across the line that's going to be doing a valid lap as of now. We'll keep on board with him, and we'll also try and keep our eye out on how MJ Coupe does and see if he can improve from that P8 position at the moment. Fernando, as I said, we're on board with Podium Cheetahs. He's making his way around the Nouvelle Chicane. That's the words. That is what I was looking for. Now coming up towards the swimming pool section of the track. He's 4 tenths up on his time. This is actually in contention with the two Renaults up ahead. So Podium Cheetah, he's very low on ERS, but I know around this track, with there being a significant difference of ERS, I think the only place it really matters is down this last straight here, and he's run out of ERS, but Podium Cheater now up towards the line. Second one in the nines. He's only just been beaten by Skyzy by a 10th, but he has split the two Renaults. Now, Scope, he's definitely got a bit of something that he needs to do. Of course, he is currently on an outlap, and MJ Coupe I'm going to go on board with as he's spun. And taking more of his wing off. Well, I thought it was going to be a good lap from the Red Bull. Unfortunately, it's not. Let's see, who else can we go on board with? I think Ruben is on an outlap. Of course, he wants to be higher than that 7th position on a 111.1, and I do not blame him. So let's have a look. Ruben, he's now going to be starting a lap. We'll sit on board with the Ferrari, the newbie on the Ferrari as he was last week, in towards turn 1. Gets that stopped quite nicely, but now coming up towards the casino portion of the track as he makes his way around. Crayon has retired from his session at the Nouvelle Chicane, but Ruben taking that very nicely through casino. A little bit of overs there out of the exit, and he is almost 4 tenths up on his time. So already that puts him more in contention with those top 6, who at the moment are splitting them and Ruben by 6 tenths, although Skyzy and Podium Cheater are splitting everybody below, well, from 3rd to 6th by about 6 tenths as it is, or 5 tenths as it is at the moment. But never mind on that, we're on board with Ruben. Coming up down to the Nouvelle Chicane, you've got to be careful of that inside curve, inside wall. He does manage to avoid it. Straight back into 3rd, into 4th now, as he makes his way up towards the swimming pool section of the track. He is actually 5 tenths up on his time now, so this could be in contention with the two Hasses. He could be doing exactly what his teammate has done and split the two Hasses. Could one of the Hasses be splitting them though? That's the only problem, as here we go, Ruben up towards the line. It's 10.3. He's actually gone up ahead of Matty. So the Haas did split him, but Matty is the one that's been bested by Ruben, and now Matty is on a map at the moment as well. So we'll sit on board with the Haas driver as he's making his way through the swimming pool section now, as in fact Scopefielder is actually just making his way up towards the line. Is it on pole? No, it's not. It was actually an invalidated lap or a slower lap, but Matty now coming up towards the line. He's got DRS wide open now. Is it going to be in the 9s potentially? No, it was a 10.0. Very close to the back of Scopefielder. I think Scope's going to be feeling a bit more pressured now, but he, I think, is going on a 2nd lap, and he's actually 2 tenths down on his lap time. A massive lock-up coming up towards the hairpin section of the track, but unfortunate for Scopefielder. I don't think he's going to be improving on this lap, although I could be completely wrong. It might have been a sector 1 where it was just lightning quick, and at that point it just wasn't as quick as what he had hoped. But still sticking on board with the Swede as he's making his way around the Nouvelle Chicane now. putting it into third gear early so he gets the best amount of traction coming out of that as much as possible. Let's sit on board with him as, yeah, he's 3 steps down on his time. In fact, he's hitting the wall. He's been hitting the wall a lot, but his teammate is carrying on with the lap. He is purple in sector 2, so the Frenchman, Skyzy, making his way up now around Raskas as he makes his way up to the final corner. And this is actually looking like an absolute lightning time. Is this in the 8s? Skyzy? No. Only into P1. Apologies for that one. So sitting on board with MJ Coupe, as he in fact isn't on a lap. He's invalidated his lap time, unfortunately. Lacarate, however, he is still going on a lap as he's making his way up towards the swimming pool section as well. He hasn't actually done a lap yet, so this will put him on the board. Taking it very cautiously is the Williams. I think I said just wanted to try and get a not too bad time on the board at the moment as Lacarate makes his way up towards the line. It's in the 10s, 7.6, so he does go up ahead of MJ Coupe, only just behind Manx as well. Of course, we've only got 3 minutes left of the session to go, as in fact Rashid has in fact gone purple in sector 1, but he's going very, very slowly, so I don't think he's actually on a lap, so we won't ride on board with him. Lacarate we've just seen do a lap. So who's going to be the next one up towards the line and getting a lap done? I believe it'll be Gaudio. So we'll ride on board with the Italian as he does his final lap around Monaco in qualifying. So let's have a look at how he does. Coming up towards the casino section of the track does the Italian. Keeping it in around sort of 4th gear. Taking the apex quite nicely through casino, a bit of oversteer on the exit as you would usually get. In fact, he's 6/10 down on his time. So I don't think that's exactly what he would have wanted. And of course there is a Haas on a lap behind him. I believe that is Mags, and he is pulling over to the side for him as well. So right on board with Mags as he's making his way through the tunnel section of the track. Keep our eye out on how he does going through here, taking as much curb as he possibly can through the Nouvelle Chicane just to make sure he does not invalidate through there. But now coming up towards swimming pool, he is only just up on his lap time. It could put him ahead of Rashid, however. I say that though, he has unfortunately invalidated at that at the swimming pool section. He's coming to the pits. No, he's in fact going to try and attempt another lap. So fair enough for him. Ruben, for some unknown reason, has gone out on a set of the mediums. Very strange. It looks like a lot of the guys have actually invalidated their lap times already. Farnham hasn't. So we'll run on board with the Alfa Romeo as it's apparently purple sector 1. He was 3.5 tenths up on his time, however. A bit of a lock-up going in towards the hairpin. A bit of a wall tap, and I think that has costed him that time, although it doesn't look as if he's lost any front wing. So we'll stick on board with Farnham as he's making his way through the tunnel section of the track now. We'll know if he does have wing damage when it comes up towards the swimming pool. But Farnham, bit of a lock-up going through the Nouvelle Chicane. Gets out of there nice and clean though. Let's have a look. No, he is definitely up on his time, so I don't think he got any wing damage from that little bit of contact on one of the walls. 6 tenths up, although he definitely did get a bit of wing damage coming up towards Raskas on the exit of the swimming pool section. It did say he was 6 tenths off on his time though, so this could still put him only just shy from Gaudio, but let's have a look. In fact, it puts him up ahead of Gaudio and up ahead of MJ. As Mags does improve on his time and does a 10.1. Podium cheater did not improve on his time. In fact, I think that's him starting the lap, so my apologies. But Ruben, he's actually up on, well, from sector 1 it says he was up on his time. Right on board with the Spaniard. He is up on his time by a tenth and a bit. So Ruben could very well be within the top 5 on the set of medium tyres. Let's have a look. Coming around the final corner now and on his way up towards the line. What is Ruben going to be doing? He's done a 9.9. He's on third. He's on the second row of the grid. MJ Coupe comes across the line at a 10.4. Skyzy, he didn't. No, he didn't improve on his time, so a 9.2 is the best he could do. But Scope, this is one we really need to ride on board with. As Scope, he's making his way up towards the line now. Please tell me he is going to be up ahead of Ruben. He is. He goes into P3, so Ruben still on the second row off the grid, which is very impressive, especially on a set of the medium tyres. He's going to be absolutely swamped, though, which is the only bad part as Farnham comes into the pits, and I think that's everyone. Everybody's qualifying's done. Podium Cheetah did not manage to improve on his time. I believe invalidated his lap time. And I think that was Mags just coming into the pits. It certainly was. But that is qualifying done for round 6 of the PC side for Invictus. Skyzy chucking it on pole. And this time, it's not the other Renault on the second row. It's in fact Podium Cheetah. He is sitting in P2. Scope has to settle for the second row of the grid in P3. Ruben, impressive lap time on those mediums, putting it in P4. Matty sitting in 5th with Mags in 6th. Of course, the two Hasses rounding out that third row. MJ Coupe chucking it into P7. Rashid in 8th. Lacquerate in 9th, and Farnham in the top 10. Gaudio and Fashion, the two McLarens, of course, they get their free tyre choice, but I don't think that's exactly what they want to be. But they're sitting in P11 and P12. Crayon is in 13th for Dre Gio, the only one to not set a particular lap and has to settle for the back of the grid. So we're just waiting for a few other guys to retire from the session, as it looks like Rashid's on a lap. I don't know how he's on a lap, but it's just been blocked by Scope's Ghost. Okay. Very strange. Okay. That's very weird. So, there are your final classifications for the Monaco Grand Prix qualifying. Skies, as I said, chucking it on pole. Podium Cheetah in second. The Swede of Scopefielder has to settle for the second row in P3. Ruben on those medium tyres in P4. Matty in 5th. Max in 6th. Coupe in 7th. Kasim in 8th. Or Rashid in 8th, sorry. Lacquerate in 9th. Farnham in 10th. Gaudio 11th. Fashion in 12th. Crayon in 13th for Dre Gio at the back of the grid in P14. And let us have a look and see if Scope can maybe try and challenge his teammate, can Podium Cheetah maybe even try and challenge for the win, or can Skyzy just sort of rocket off ahead and get his second win in a row? And I believe that will chuck him in the top of the standings. I will just have a double check really quickly. So if Skyzy does win, Scope would need to finish lower than 5th place in order for Skyzy to go in the championship lead. So we'll wait and see if that does happen. And I'm hoping people are going to maybe try and make that their top 3 prediction in the chat. But we are just waiting for all of these guys to pick their strategies. picking their setups. Of course, as I said, everyone inside the top 10, they will have to use their soft tyres that they did qualify on. The guys outside of the top 10, they can go on whatever one that they particularly want to, or any sort of tyre, whether that be the hards, whether that be the mediums, whether that want to be the softs as well. We shall wait and see. So let's have a look. What are the guys outside of the top 10 opted to go on tyre-wise? So Gaudio, Fashion and Crayon are all on the set of mediums. Dre goes for a set of hard tyres. Of course, as I said, Ruben, he's in the top 10. In fact, he's on the second row on a set of the mediums. So that is very impressive. I must admit, it's very impressive. But as you can see, oh, okay, I was about to say, look, you see everyone just sort of riding through the hairpin. I'm assuming we're going to see a couple guys getting disqualified. Yep, there we go. Oh, yeah, there's a couple more. Was half the grid disqualified of the formation lap? Interesting. But, as I said, get your top 3 predictions going in the chat. I think Skyzy will take the win. I think Scope will push his way through and finish second. And I think Ruben will more than likely get his podium that he really wanted from last week. And he has the opportunity to earn it now. So I think Ruben will take that final podium position. But again, we shall await and see, as Skyzy and Podium Cheetah were actually disqualified from the session, so they were going very slowly. But you can see the predicted pit stop strategy. Soft to medium for the guys on the set of the softs. Medium to hard, it says for Ruben, but I'm sure he was probably going to try and do the medium to soft strategy. So he's on a faster set of tyres towards the end of the race. Of course, it's going to set him back a little bit in the race, but let's see if he does manage to keep up with these guys once we get underway. So let's have a look. We've got the 5 red lights now on. And it is lights out. And away we go. Skyzy looks like he has got a good start, but so does Podium Cheetah. Podium Cheetah already up alongside and already in front of Skyzy off of turn 1. Ruben going down into keeping into P4 even. Sorry, it's a bit messed up on the grid standings, but all I know is Podium Cheetah, he's really gone already. I don't know what has happened off that start, but he's just driven off. I really don't know what's happened, but Podium Cheetah, he somehow managed to get in front. It says there's yellows, but that's just everyone trying to trundle their way through the hairpin. But Podium Cheetah, look how much he's already gone up ahead. 1.8 seconds up ahead of the Frenchman. In fact, it's now 2.2. What is going on? And I know that Delta's right. I mean, fair enough, he's had an absolute blistering start off of the line. But there you go, so Podium Cheetah does lead the first lap. Skyzy into second. Matty actually jumps up into P3, up ahead of Scope. Ruben does drop down into P5, however, but he's still in that top 10 in the mediums. Mags is in 6th, with Rashid in 7th. MJ Coop drops down into P8. Gaudio goes up into P9. He jumps up 2 places from the start. Lacquer is into the top 10 as well, or in fact he is in P10 where he, I believe, had started. Fashion is in 11th, and Farnham in 12th. Crayon still remains in 13th, and Dragio still does remain at the back of the grid, but absolute blistering start for Podium Cheetah. I don't know what had happened off of that start, because he was just lightning quick off of that. Genuinely, I don't know what happened to him at the start, but Matty is now trying to contend with Skyzy, as we're just watching these guys now making their way up towards, of course, the swimmable section of the track. And let's just have a look and see, because Matty, he's only 8/10 behind Skyzy. I can't believe, I'm still in shock as to how fast Podium Cheetah just took off from the line. I really am. Ruben still keeping in P5, but Max is keeping him honest in P6. Keeping all over the back of it, but Ruben, he's also keeping Scope honest. I mean, look how close he is, only 6/10 behind the Swede, as now Mags, he's closing up to the back of Ruben. He's already run very low on ERS, and so has Mags, only on 25%, Ruben only on 15%, whereas Scope, he's still on about 60-odd%. But riding on board with Matty, he's only 5/10 behind Skyzy, our current one of the championship contenders. Our current championship leader is sitting down in P4, and this is exactly where Skyzy would have wanted him if Skyzy was the one leading the race. Podium Cheetah is the one that is leading the race at the moment, and it just seems to be nearly every single corner he's just getting more and more away from everybody, as there are yellows. It in fact is Mags spinning at the Nouvelle Chicane. He picks himself up a 3-second time penalty along with it. I get the feeling that we may be seeing some safety cars during the race, depending on how people do fare up, but I also assume that we're going to see a lot of guys making their way into the pits relatively early if they try to get a bit too racy. But so far, already 3 laps down. Podium Cheetah, I don't know what else to say. He's absolutely blitzed it on the start and is continuing to do so. I really don't know what that start was from him. Really don't know how we got that start, because that was just amazing. But Matty, he's still only keeping 6/10 behind Skyzy. Skyzy, I think, would have hoped that he'd be where Podium Cheetah is at the moment, or even just a little bit further up ahead of the road, to not have Matty pressuring him this much. But Matty, of course, the one sitting in P3 in the standings, sitting P3 in the race at the moment, as Jakob does pick himself up a 3-second time penalty. He's doing an amazing job already, and in fact up ahead of the current championship leader, as well as Ruben. Still keeping tabs with Scope, of course, with Mags unfortunately having a bit of a spin. Ruben, he doesn't need to worry about behind as Mags is into the pits. I believe he must have picked himself up some wing damage already, as Rashid picks himself up a 3-second time penalty coming through turn 1. I'll just try to keep tabs on the battle for 2nd place and the battle for 4th place. It looks like both Renaults are massively under pressure from the guys that are just behind them. As you can see, Skyzy and Matty already pulling out a 3-second gap to Scope, but then Podium Cheetah still with that 3-second gap to Skyzy. Absolutely insane. But Matty, I mean, DRS is now going to be enabled. Of course, it's only just on this one start-finish straight is where DRS is enabled, so it's not exactly going to help as much, but it does keep him in their DRS. So, overtaking opportunities around here. This is why I said you really need to qualify on pole. Skyzy did do that, but it just looks like Podium Cheetah was the one who was, of course, on the 2nd row. He got the best start possible, and now Matty is all over the back of the Frenchman, which I suppose would technically count as Skyzy's home Grand Prix, maybe? I know there is a French Grand Prix, but that's the closest thing that Monaco is to it. So, yeah, it just looks like he's doing an incredible job at the moment. Of course, podium cheater, just yeah. I've still got no words for how he's ended up with that start, but at the moment he's still managing to gap Skyzy, or even like keep on pulling up that gap up ahead of him. And Scope and Ruben, bit of a collision that's happened there. I don't know what had occurred. But has either of them got any wing damage? I can't see Scope having wing damage, and I can't see Ruben having any wing damage. But I don't know what had happened there, but Ruben is already caught back up to the back of Scope. I don't know if it was just a case that Ruben had broken late and just almost went into the back of Scope, or they were both side by side. I'm honestly not too sure. But run up all with Gaudio as he is starting to close up to the gap of MJ Coupe. MJ Coupe, of course, you saw at the beginning of the race, he did pick himself up a 3-second time penalty. Already down 6 laps into the race as Lacare into the pits already for a set of the medium tyres. I don't know if they'll be able to go to the end. I believe they might only, just. It's going to be very difficult for him, but we'll wait and see how he does at the end of the race, as MJ Coupe just does not look comfortable going through that hairpin. And now Gaudio, he's trying to figure out a way of getting past the Red Bull, but he's just not close enough to getting any sort of move done. So Gaudio has to remain down in P8 for now, as we're still riding on board with this battle here for P2. And in fact, I'm going to go back on board with this battle here for P4, as Scope starting to lose a bit more time to Ruben up behind, as Ruben still on those medium tyres, of course, 6-lap old mediums, 6-lap old softs. Those softs are going to start to die out possibly within the next couple of laps, maybe within the next 2 to 3 laps. So I'm expecting a few guys to make their pit stops towards lap 9, lap 10, I would say, maybe even lap 11. But yeah, Scope, I thought he would have had a bit of a better start, but I mean, my top 3 were clearly wrong. Well, so far it's wrong anyway. But starting to look at it a bit more now, it looks like Scope is starting to catch up ever so slightly to the back of Matty and Skyzy, and Rashid is starting to lose a bit of time to these two in 4th and 5th. But Ruben is not giving him an inch to try and worm his way out of that DRS and worm his way to catch up to those guys. He's just keeping him honest, as I said, and it's working out for him, especially with him being on a set of mediums. Skyzy has 3-second time penalty. That is really going to hurt him in the race, especially with how close walls the close the walls are in Monaco. And if he does get stuck in a bit of a DRS train, it could be a bit of trouble for him. Here we go, Ruben. Thought he was maybe eyeing up a move on Scope, although he may have a bit more of a run coming up towards Casino. I've seen a few people try and go for a move around here before, but is Ruben going to be one of those guys? No, he does back off from Scope for now. Although Scope does block him off. Scope going very defensive, moving himself over, making sure he does keep Ruben, so he knows where he's at, as Ruben, 3-second time penalty for corner cut, and he did hit the inside wall at the hairpin, which is going to cost him quite a bit of time. And you can already see how much he's already lost from that alone. At least 0.8 of a second. And I think Ruben's going to be a bit angry with that, and is going to want to try and keep up to the back of Scope and try and make sure he gets a move done on him ASAP. As in fact, there you go, Scope, one of the first ones out of the front runners to go into the pits. Now Matty, here we go, could we possibly be seeing a move from Matty up towards Casino, as Skyzy very low on ERS himself now. He's only on 10% ERS. But no, not close enough, as Podium Cheetah now almost a 5-second gap splitting him and the Frenchman. as MJ Coupe, Gaudio both make their way into the pits. Gaudio, I'm actually surprised, has come into the pits very early on in the race. We're still just sticking on board with this battle here for P2. Matty still trying to close up that gap to Skies here, maybe even try and go for a move on. As I said, Monaco, so difficult to overtake. As Skiesy goes into the pits, I thought he might do this lap as well, as Podium Cheetah already entered the pits, already out of his pit box, going on a set of the medium tyres. Oh, Skiesy, in fact, he's actually getting his wing repaired, if I'm not mistaken. He's been in that box for a long time, so that is probably why Skiesy did not have the greatest of launches. Because of that wing damage, he may have picked it up on the first lap. So Matty will now take your race lead. Of course, it won't be for that long. As soon as Matty comes into the pits, I'm sure Podium Cheetah and Skiesy will probably have something to say in regards to that. But Matty, as I said, at the moment he's got quite a bit of clear air, so he's just going to be trying to push as much as he can, try and get the best gap that he possibly can, and hope that he comes out up ahead of the likes of Scope, of the likes of Skiesy's. In fact, I've just realised, because of Skiesy getting that wing changed, Scope is now up ahead of him. And you can, this is, as I said, you can really see now that the softs are really wearing out. As Ruben, I don't think I've seen this gap start going up. It's just been dropping more and more and more as Matty, as I said, into the pits. Lap 11 in, is Rashid going to also come in this lap as well? Yes, he does. So those are all of the medium runners now out. Soft runners now onto a set of the mediums or a set of the hards. Of course, MJ Coupe and Gaudio going on a set of the hards. I understand for Gaudio because he started on the set of the set of medium tyres, but I'm really surprised that MJ Coupe went on a set of the hards, as Matty coming out of the pits up ahead of Skiesy, only just behind Scopefielder though, and he was well up ahead of Scopefielder before those pit stops, so Matty has lost a lot of time. Now Ruben is the one that is currently in the lead of the race. However, Podium Cheetah on 1 lap old mediums in comparison to Ruben on 11 lap old mediums. As I said, I think these guys are probably going to try and go for a set of the softs to go to the end of the race. And at the moment it's looking like Podium Cheetah, well, unless he makes some sort of mistake, I think he might be on for an absolute dominant win around Monaco. But just looking at it, he looks so confident around here as Gaudio and Crayon. In fact, have only just changed positions. And there you go, Podium Cheetah, 112.3, fastest lap of the race so far, as there are more yellows. In fact, speaking of that, it is Crayon around the Nouvelle Chicane. I think he must have hit the inside wall, and now he's also got wing damage on his left end plate. Matty, a 3-second time penalty to his name. Skiesy also has one. Penalties, I think, are probably going to play a bit of an effect come the end of the race and put it a bit more set in stone. As I'm going to just try and do a little bit of maths quickly and see if the guys in the Renaults can actually win the Constructors today. So both of the Renaults are on 131 points. The Alpha Tauris are in second on 36. In third, I think, were the Hasses on 35, and then the Ferraris on 34. It's about 27, call it 28 points if you get the fastest lap. That's the maximum amount of points the team can get. Multiply that by 7. You get 190. No, not 194. Is it? 140. Yes, 194. I was right. Yeah. Scope going down the inside of Fashion. Oh, it put it in the wall. Scope is into the wall. I think that was a bit of an audacious move from Scopefielder. He was down the inside, he locked up massively, he took Fashion with him. Both with massive wing damage, and I think Skyzy probably just drove past and just started laughing. Because he knows that this could be, that he could go into the lead of this championship. Depending on where Scopefielder is also going to come out, and of course, a few of the other guys that still need to make their pit stops. Fashion is one of them. Ruben is the other one that still needs to make his pit stops. I think they're the only two that still need to make a stop. Yeah, Creon has just come in, so yeah, they are the only two that are still needing to make some sort of pit stop. And I think that's just a bit of a. I think that was just a bit of a an audacious move from Scopefielder. Unfortunately, it's costed Fashion, and now there goes Rashid. So Rashid, he could be on for a podium position, as now he's being blocked by Fashion. He's also got to take into account how early Fashion's going to be braking, as Fashion does go into the pit. Scope does follow him in the pits, and now Mags is all over the back of Rashid as well. Mags, he did pit quite early for a set of these mediums, and I'm assuming he's going to be taking them to the end of the race. I'll be surprised if he tries to pit for another set of softs unless there's a safety car. But at the moment, it's him. Well, it's looking like the podium is going to be Podium Cheater, Matty and Skyzy. However, this man that's at the front of the grid at the moment could have something to do with it. It's Podium Cheater is all over the back of Ruben. Coming in towards the Nouvelle chicane, he doesn't try and brake late. Ruben, though, brakes very late and getting himself a 3-second time penalty. A little bit of a bump from Podium Cheater now for the lead of the race. It's Ferrari versus Mercedes situation as what it was like, well, from last year, shall I say. Of course, Ferrari not being particularly too much up there this season, but Podium Cheater, he is trying his best to get past Ruben, because not only is he in a battle with Ruben at the moment for the lead of the race, Matty, he was 11 seconds down from him, and now it's that gap is dropping down massively as Skyzy 3-second time penalty for the Frenchman in the Renault, and now Podium Cheater still can't find a way past Ruben, so he's having to stay behind the Ferrari for now. And I don't think Podium Cheater is going to be getting past Ruben anytime soon. The only place I can really think he can is into the Nouvelle chicane. I don't think he'll try anything into the hairpin. So yeah, the Nouvelle chicane, I think, is really where he's going to try and take a bit of an advantage on the Ferrari. And he very well could, as Matty closing up that gap. Look at that now, it's only 9.4 seconds between the pair of them. Made that 9.2. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe Matty has a penalty yet. I know his teammate has picked up 2, I believe it is already. Podium Cheater, I know, hasn't got a penalty, but I know Ruben does. Of course, he's still needing to pit. And I think Podium Cheater is going to be a bit annoyed that he's having to be held up by Ruben, who's still yet to make any sort of pit stop. But Scope, look at where he's come out. He's come up behind Fashion. Fashion is on a set of the hards, so he's having to take those to the end of the race. And Scope sitting down in 10th, so Skyzy, he really needs to try and capitalise on these points, but he's only in P4 at the moment and he's not capitalising on it. If he would have finished first in this race, this would have given him a massive point total on his championship rival. But back on board with this battle for the lead of the race, Podium Cheater still cannot find a way past Ruben. Of course, Ruben, like I said, I think he's going to try and take these tyres to about lap 23 or 4. I think is when you can possibly go on a set of softs to the end of the race, because I know he'll be on like a fuel load in comparison to people when they're at the beginning of the race. So you can take those soft tyres a little bit longer. As there are yellows in sector 3, that is Dre Geo at Raskas, as Podium Cheater just touching the side of the wall. I don't know if he got any wing damage. I don't think he did. As in fact, Dre Geo does retire from the session. So for Brett in the AlphaTauri, sitting 5th in the standings, is an unfortunate DNF for him this time around. And it's just looking like Ruben, I don't know how, he's just getting away more and more from Podium Cheater. In fact, he's already dropped him out of DRS, which is very weird unless Podium Cheater has damage, but I can't see any. excuse me. So I'm kind of surprised that he's starting to drop him. Although it looks like Podium Cheater's now starting to find a bit more momentum as Scope still cannot find a way past Fashion. And now Mags is starting to join in the party a bit more. The Scope, he looks like he's got a much better exit out of that final corner than Fashion. Scope possibly going to try something in towards turn 1 this time. Hopefully this time not put him into the wall. Here we go. Both side by side now. Fashion trying to squeeze him a bit of a squeeze. They both actually made it out of turn 1 this time. And now Mags is also trying to get involved in the back of these guys as well. A very clean and fair racing from all three of these guys. Mags just has to stay behind all of them for the time being. So Scope now clear from Fashion, and Scope can now try and move his way back up the standings. Of course, if you guys don't know how the points go by now in Invictus, first position will get 15 points, second gets 12, third gets 10, then it goes 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then there's a point for the fastest lap. At the moment, Skyzy will be getting himself 8 points, Scope will be getting himself 4. So that's still not enough for Skyzy to try and take the lead in the championship, and it's just looking like Scope, he's a man on a mission. He's already dropped Fashion by 2 seconds. And Scope, he's trying to go for a bit of a fast lap here and trying to do as much as he can to catch up as Mags get another 3-second time penalty. And I think someone else also picked one up. I think it might have been MJ Coop before. But Scope, as I said, a man on a mission to try and get up to the back of Skyzy. He's very far behind, about 30 odd seconds behind Skyzy. In fact, I'll just double check that. Yeah, there you go. You can see it 39, about 38, 39 seconds behind. Skyzy is Mags into the pits and has retired from the session when he was all over the back of Fashion. I don't know what had happened to Mags. Very interesting. But now Ruben, the only one that is yet to make any sort of pit stop, and he is still being pressured by this man on your screen right here, who had an absolutely fantastic getaway off the line. He's now gapped that person that qualified in pole by almost 10 seconds. As there are more yellows, it's a McLaren. I think, is that Gaudio? No, it's not. It's Fashion. I don't know what happened to Fashion, but now Farnham's just got past him. Fashion, he doesn't look as if he's got any wing damage, but Farnham getting past him now. Well, Farnham is now up into P8, whereas Fashion is now down in 9th. As Ruben doing everything that he possibly can to stay up ahead of Podium Cheater. He's now gapped it to 1.4 seconds. I thought he was Spanish earlier because Ruben sounds like it's a bit of a Spanish name, I'm not going to lie. But no, the South African, he is the one that is doing absolute bits at the moment. Of course, as I said, sitting in first position. Of course, he still needs to make a pit stop. But like I said, I believe he will more than likely come in towards lap 24, lap 25 to go on a set off the soft tyres and then take those to the end of the race. So he'll be on the quicker tyre, but where he will emerge out is a different story. I think he will emerge out behind Skyzy. He might even be as close as to where his teammate is at the moment. 23 seconds separates him and his teammate. And of course, Rashid has already pit, but Ruben hasn't. And I know the pit lane around Monaco is quite small. So about like a 20 to 21 second gap in the pit lane. There's Ruben, a little bit of a tap on the outside wall. Getting a nice sort of helicopter shot from this one. It looks like the gaps have started to sort of spread out a bit more, but Podium Cheater, he is the one that's currently set the fastest lap of the race, and I'm really surprised. I know he set the fastest lap of the race, but I am very surprised he is still behind Ruben. It doesn't even look like Ruben's tyres are dying anytime soon. In fact, whilst the gaps are looking like this, I'm going to have a look at penalties. So, let's have a look. Ruben. He has gotten the one penalty already. I think it was on lap 15 he picked that up. Podium Cheater, only on 2 warnings. Matty, I said I didn't think he had a penalty, but he does have a penalty. He picked up on lap 13. Skyzy, I know he has a penalty. In fact, he has 2. Rashid, just the 1 penalty. Gaudio, just the 1 penalty. Scope, no penalties. He's only on 2 warnings. Farnham, just the 1 penalty. Sorry, the 1 warning. Fashion, 2 warnings. Lacquerate, just the 1 pen. Crayon, 1 penalty. Mags has 3 penalties. In fact, he picked it up literally on this lap, his other penalty. And then Dre, he's unfortunately DNF, but he had 2 penalties anyway. But Mags, I said he picked it up on this lap. He didn't pick it up on that lap because he retired on that lap. So, yeah, Mags, I'm surprised he picked up about 9 to 12 seconds of penalties. But this battle is still the closest one going out on track. And it's still from Podium Cheetah not being able to get past Ruben. I'm still very surprised that he hasn't, considering the start he had on those soft compounder tyres. Although he is keeping Ruben at bay. Ruben, I think, really needs to just hold on for maybe 2 to 3 more laps. There's now Matty. Look how much he is closed up to the back of these two, as Podium Cheetah is still not able to find any sort of way through on the South African as of yet. Both of them are getting very close to that wall on the inside as well. I did just see some yellows. I don't know where that was. Just trying to see if I can take a look back on the live stream. It was by the Nouvelle Chicane. I think that might have been Lacquerate. Here we go now. We've still got 15 laps left to go off the race, and Ruben, he's starting to make sure that he gets Podium Cheetah a little bit out of shape. As MJ Cooper's gone around, coming up towards the tunnel section of the track. Has he got himself wing damage? He's got quite a significant amount of wing damage, does the Red Bull, and it's gone from bad to worse for him as he was looking to pick up some decent points results for the Red Bulls. And with Vios, of course, not being here tonight as well, it's unfortunately not happening for MJ Coop. But there is definitely another battle we can keep our eye out on, and it is this battle here for P6, Gaudio and Scopefield. Now Gaudio, of course, is on a set of hard tyres, Scope on a set of medium tyres. Now Scope, of course, having that bit of a collision with, in fact, Gaudio's teammate, who he managed to get by in the end significantly quickly. And you can see how much he's already gapped Fashion, as I think Fashion, of course, he had a little bit of a spin earlier, but Lacquerate, he's set the fastest lap of the race so far. He's taken that off of Podium Cheetah. However, Ruben, we've still got now 14 laps left to go of the race. And I'm assuming Ruben is going to be in either on this lap or on the next lap to chuck on those set of soft tyres. And hopefully for him, he'll try and move his way up the grid. As you can see, the gap between him and Rashid, I believe Ruben will come out in front no matter what. However, Podium Cheetah, no sort of gap and not able to get any sort of move done on Ruben at the moment. And of course, this battle's still going on here for P6, Gaudio, Scope. Gaudio doing a good defensive job so far on the current championship leader. So let's see if Scope's going to be able to try and go for some sort of move. Still riding on board with him. He doesn't got a much better exit than Gaudio outside from the coming onto the tunnel section. You can see the Husky Chocolate in his rear wing, but no, not able to get any sort of move done is the Swede on the Italian. Has to stay behind him for now. Gaudio getting a little bit out of shape, coming up towards the swimming pool section of the track, and now Scope, he had to brake quite hard to make sure he didn't hit the back of the McLaren driver, and now Scope, he's just trying to do anything just to try and throw Gaudio off, but it doesn't look as if it's sort of phasing Gaudio that much. And now here we go, DRS now wide open for Scope. He did try this on Gaudio's teammate last time, but Gaudio, I think he has enough ERS just to try and stay up ahead, as there are more yellows. In fact, it is a Ferrari. That's Ruben. It was our race leader. I don't know what had happened going over the Nouvelle Chicane. I don't know if Podium Cheetah hit the back of him or what. Doesn't look as if he has, although Matty is now caught up to the back of him. But yeah, I don't know what happened with Ruben. He was doing so well to stay up ahead of Podium Cheetah, and now, of course, he is into the pits this lap and going on a set of the softs. But I'm really surprised at that, because he didn't make any sort of fault into his race. So he's coming out of the pit box now. Where's his teammate? He's coming across Raskas. Oh yeah, no, Ruben should be able to jump him. I'll say that. It's only just. As there goes Rashid. There goes Ruben. You can see just coming out of his pit, out of the pit lane. In fact, Rashid jumps Ruben. Ruben must have had some sort of wing damage. Another one that is heating up still, though, or I say it is heating up, is still heated up, is this battle for P6, Gaudio and Scope. Scope, I think, just wants to try and avoid what happened last time with him and his teammate, as there are more yellows. In fact, it is a Mercedes. I believe that is Crayon. It is indeed, unfortunately, for the Mercedes. I don't know what happened to him there, but he had to pull over to the side as Jakob into the pits, and now coming out of the pits. I think has just been lapped, or it's just about to be lapped from Podium Cheetah and from Matty. As Gaudio and Scope are both trying to go side by side through the Nouvelle Chicane, both leaving each other as much space as they can, both a little bit of contact between the pair of them, and now both trying to go side by side. Oh, Gaudio, he tried to keep it side by side through there. Scope, I believe, did leave as much room as he could, and not any more room, and he would have been into the wall. Scope is in P6, and some very unfortunate for Gaudio, but that's now absolutely ruined Gaudio's race. And now Gaudio into the pits. He is Gaudio. I'm sorry, I'll never make a terrible pun like that again. But here we go, the two Ferraris now both very close together. Ruben now into the tunnel section. I don't think Rashid's going to try and fight it, although he did have to back off from his teammate. And there you go, Rashid, I think he just knew he's just going to let him through. So, of course, on a softer compound of tyre, I don't think Rashid wanted to try and fight that for too long, as MJ Cooper and Crayon. Bit of battling going on between the pair of them there, as Gaudio actually emerges out in P10. Lacarate, that's his ghost car, I think. Is that a ghost car? I can't tell if that's a ghost car if that's his. I think it's a ghost car. It is a ghost car. Alright. But that is all over the back of Skyzy. But it's battle for the lead. Matty and Podium Cheetah. Matty, of course, he is sitting in, as I said, in third in the championship, with him getting his P2. Although with Podium Cheetah picking up the win, these two are actually battling for third on in the tier, shall I say. Matty is on 32 and Podium Cheetah is on 29. These two are very close on track as well, and it can literally go anyone's way. Matty, as I said, I think he picked up a penalty. Podium Cheetah hasn't. We have got 10 laps left to go off this race, and at the moment, the Brit of Podium Cheetah is the one in the lead, but Matty making a bit of a mistake going through turn 1, of course breaking a bit too late, almost going into the wall. And now this is allowing Skyzy to try and work his way back up to that top spot of the podium. As Ruben set the fastest lap of the race, 16 seconds he is behind Skyzy. But it looks like Podium Cheetah's starting to find his rhythm once again, and he looks like he's actually pulling away from Matty and Skyzy. Again, another one, he still can't seem to find his way up towards these top two. Oh, Skyzy 2.5 seconds now behind Matty, of course. Now 9 laps left to go of the Monaco Grand Prix, and so far Podium Cheetah looks like he's sort of led it nearly every single, if not every single lap. Of course, other than when Ruben was also leading it when he hadn't made any sort of pit stop. But, of course, Ruben, he did make the stop now. He's, in fact, catching Skyzy at almost 2 seconds a lap. Pretty sure I looked at this around the last lap, and it was about 2 seconds that he made up. So, well, he's just doing exceptionally well on these medium tyres, but Fashion still keeping up to the back of Farnham. I think he just got put off by MJ Coop's ghosted car, and now Fashion very close to the back of Farnham. Apologies about that one there, folks. So yeah, of course we have still got this battle going on here for P7. Fashion very close to the back of Farnham, and of course Matty and Podium Cheetah as well, very close to the back of each other, although they are both running out of ERS. As Podium Cheetah, you can see, is on 14% ERS, whereas Matty, he is only on, I think, around the same, actually, about 14 to 15% ERS. So it's really all or nothing between these two Skyzy. He's starting to catch up to them a bit more now. I'm going to just have another double check on the what these guys are looking like out front. So Podium Cheetah, he's still yet to pick up any penalties, so we'll currently take the race win. Matty, the 1 penalty. Skyzy, I remember him having 2. Hasn't picked up another one since. And Ruben, the 1 penalty so far as well. Excuse me, as well. So at the moment, I think unless Matty can get past Podium Cheetah and gap him by about 3 seconds, it would require Podium Cheetah to make a mistake. I think he will be picking up his first race win of the season, as Farnham and Fashion now by trying to go side by side, coming up towards the casino section. Very good driving from the pair of them, a little bit of contact between them, but still side by side, and Farnham does maintain that position from the McLaren. Very good driving between the pair of them, especially going up towards turns 1, 2, 3 and 4 through the casino section, going side by side. Very good driving from the pair of them. Unfortunate for Fashion not being able to get past and keeping it clean as well. So, as I said, brilliant battling from them, and let's see if we can maybe get some replication for that for these top 3 guys, as they're all sort of separated by a second at the moment. Taking a look through this though, Matty, he's doing well to sort of stay up ahead of Skyzy. He's lost quite a bit of time to Podium Cheetah, but this is where this battle is now going to sort of rise a bit more. So we know that Podium Cheetah is more than likely going to win this race again, unless he has a bit of a, bit of a moment and, you know, just decides to glide into a wall. This is battle for P2. Skyzy, he's looking a lot more racier than what these two guys are up ahead of him. But the only problem is that Skyzy has significantly more penalties than these two up ahead of him. Well, I say significantly more. Matty has only got a 1 and Skyzy has 2, whereas Podium Cheater has none. So, at the moment, this order will finish exactly where it is, unless Ruben can catch up to within 3 seconds of the Frenchman. And at the moment, he looks like he's doing just that, as Ruben, 7 seconds separates him and Skyzy. Ruben has been on an absolute charge as Lacquerate picks himself up 3 second time penalty. Of course, he's sort of within this group of leaders at the moment. But it doesn't even look like Podium Cheater is going to make any sort of mistake. And it looks like he is going to go, I think he is just going to go on to win this race. As I said though, anything looks like it could happen in P2, as of course Ruben, he's almost getting that gap down to 3 seconds. He's just got to get it down to 3 seconds and he'll overtake Skyzy from penalties. But he won't overtake Matty. He will need to overtake Matty on track. And at the rate he's going, he looks like he is going to be catching straight up to the back of Skyzy and might even try an overtake on him. Gaudio and Lacquerate actually, in fact, is just changing position. Oh no, Lacquerate had oh, hello. Lacquerate is a ghost car. I keep forgetting about that, but oh, this is looking a bit odd. So we've got battles going up and down the field. But when I say up and down the field, the battle for P7, 8, and 9 is within the battle for first, second, and third. And Skyzy's going to be put well off from all of this going on in front of him. I think I heard a bit of collision going on in the background. I think that was Farnham. In fact, no, it wasn't. He's still got all of his wing. Lacquerate doesn't know. Is Lacquerate in the session? I can't tell if he is. I think he is. I think he is in a session. Because I see at times it looks like it keeps on going to like a solid car and then it sort of... Yeah, he's in the session, definitely. He's just got to try and avoid hitting the back of Gaudio, because whilst these two are ghosted, I think there will still be contact that shows up. So Lacquerate does need to be careful, because Gaudio, he's trying to just sort of sit inside of Skyzy. It's going to be putting Skyzy off majorly. I don't think it's what Skyzy would want either, but coming on to the final few laps of the race, Skyzy's dropped back massively from Matty, and now Ruben. Oh, I said it would come towards the end of the race and he would catch up to him. He's already on the back of him, and Ruben, look how much later he does brake in comparison to the Frenchman. This could be a bit of a show going on our hands, as Crown is just letting everybody through, going through there. But this battle for P3, very, very tight between Skyzy and Ruben. Of course, Ruben being on a fresher compound of tyre. I wonder if we'll see anything going in towards the Nouvelle chicane if Ruben does manage to attempt any sort of moves and getting anything done on the Frenchman, as of course no DRS open because there is no DRS activation zone here. But here we go, Ruben now trying to pull up alongside him, going in towards the Nouvelle chicane. He does back out of it. I thought he was actually going to hit the wall there, but he looks like he got a much better exit than Skyzy, but touched the back of him, which just lost all momentum for him. As in fact, I've just realised Scope came into the pits and chucked on a fresh set of softs. So Scope is trying to go for the fastest lap of the race at the moment as well. Of course, as we speak, unless Ruben picks himself up another 3 second time penalty, he will jump Skyzy, and Skyzy will finish 4th and Ruben will finish in 3rd. And I think this will be the first time that neither of the two Renaults will finish on the podium if this does happen. Because Scope is 24 seconds behind Rashid, who's in 5th. Rashid is 18 seconds behind his teammate Ruben. But it's all relying on Ruben not picking himself up a penalty. As I said, if that happens, the top 3, it's going to be completely different to what I think everybody else was going to be expecting in this race. 2 laps left to go of the race, and Podium Cheater is the one still in the lead. Matty is the one still sitting in P2 at the moment. Of course, with Skyzy in 3rd, but under a lot of pressure from Ruben. And of course, Ruben having 1 less penalty than Skyzy as well. Lacquerate just sort of getting out of the way of all of these guys as Gaudio picks himself up a 3-second time penalty again. Ruben is just braking a lot later than what the Frenchman is as well. And I say he's braking a bit later. I thought he was going to go straight into the back of him and get himself a bit of wing damage, but no, he does not. We are now on to the final lap of the race, and this is really one of the only other overtaking spots that Ruben can do, other than when he comes down towards the tunnels. Are we going to be seeing the South African try and get any sort of move done on the Frenchman? It looks like Skyzy, he is pushing for his life. The only problem, he has not got the ERS to try and pull away from all of this. And now here we go, Ruben still closing up to the back of Skyzy, but again, South African, he's just going to have to deal with sitting behind him for now. Although, as I said, as long as there isn't any sort of precautions going on with it, as there are just yellows coming through this hairpin. I think that was Gaudio. Was that Gaudio? I think it was Gaudio. Just whilst he was sitting behind, as there are more yellows. In fact, that's MJ Coupe. As Scope, fastest lap of the race, Ruben, one of the only other overtaking opportunities. He's locked up, but he's stayed behind Skyzy. And Ruben, you can really see he wants to try and get by, but he's not going to be able to do anything unless he tries something in towards Raskas. Skyzy gets a very bad exit. Here we go, Ruben. Maybe trying to go down around the outside or the inside. No, he does not, but I'm going to go on board with Podium Cheer as he makes his way up towards the line. That is the Brits' first win. Congratulations to Podium Cheetah. I don't think we would have expected that, and I don't think we would have expected Matty in P2. Very well done to him, as Ruben did pick up a penalty. So Skyzy, he did finish in P3. I thought it was going to be the first time that there were going to be no Renaults on the podium, but no. Ruben, he must have picked up a penalty somewhere that I didn't realise. And that's why Ruben was trying his best to just try and get past him. Rashid, he does come home to finish in P5. Scope is going to be the last one to come across the line. Of course, sitting in P6 with the fastest lap of the race. Does he pick up another one? No, he does not. He does get the fastest lap of the race. He got that on the last, the lap before that last lap there. But that was a crazy ending to a race. And that was very impressive from, you know, the South African of Ruben and the Frenchman of Skyzy. Skyzy did manage to hold his own, but this man here, he could not be stopped throughout this evening. Matty, he gave him a good challenge. Skyzy at the beginning, I don't know what had happened, but Matty, it was very unfortunate for him. I think it was just where the lap cars were. It was a bit difficult for him to try and see where he was going, but Podium Cheater, he didn't let that affect him, and he has taken the win around the Monaco circuit. And here are your final classifications for Monaco. So as I said, Podium Cheater does take the win without any penalties as well. So very good racer from him, and I will probably say he is my driver of the day, I must admit. Matty does take home P2. Skyzy does take 3rd with Ruben in 4th. Rashid in 5th. Scope, I think that's his worst finish of the season. First time outside of the podium. He finished P6. Gaudio does finish in P7. Farnham in 8th. Lacquerate in 9th. Fashion in top 10 as well. Picking up that final point position. So good on him for that one. MJ Coupe does finish 11th with Crayon in 12th. And then of course our 1 or 2 that unfortunately had DNF'd were both Mags and Dre Geo. But Scope does pick up the fastest lap of the race. I don't know what had happened to him at the beginning. I think he did, as I said, got a bit of wing damage from a collision. Sorry, I know what happened. He got a bit of wing damage from collision with Fashion going through turn 1, and it really hampered his race. He did try his best to make his way back up, but he knew it wasn't going to be enough, especially with Ruben going on a fresh set of softs. But he did manage to swipe that fastest lap from the South African. But Podium Cheetah, it's all about him for tonight. He drove an absolutely amazing race. I don't think I've seen anyone sort of drive Monaco as well as what he did tonight, and well, he really showed what he is capable of, taking his first win of the season, his third podium of the season. He will move, I believe, into third position in the standings. It's a tie between him and Matty now in the standings for third place. And well, as for the championship lead, Skyzy, he picks up 10 points. Scope only picks up 4. That's 6 points. That's only 1 point in it in the championship, and that's what I am very much looking forward to. To everyone that did watch tonight, thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, we are only sort of halfway through now in the season for Invictus. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys next week for one of my personal favourite tracks around the Canadian Grand Prix.